Oh, marvelous. I've kept it really low prop for this first one, just to make it easy for anyone logging in. But we're going to start with a blanket and rolling it up, or a block or a book or a cushion underneath the back of the heart and lying over it with your arms outstretched and your head on the floor, and then you can just relax your legs in whatever position is comfortable. So give yourself a little wriggle and jiggle and take the time to set yourself up well so that you're nice and relaxed, lying back over the blanket or the pillows. Feel a little lift to your chest, but it's fairly moderate. We're not looking for something huge. Just a slight raise of the back rib cage, an opening in the front of the chest. Really good pose for giving our lungs the space to breathe. And then systematically work through your body. From the toes, giving them a little wriggle, letting the feet relax, allowing your legs to release. Let the legs become heavy, sinking the hips, the buttocks, softening the front body and the back body. Relax shoulders, heavy arms, soft throat and neck, and the weight of the head sinking down into the mat below you. Take some deep, slow breaths. Letting go of anything that came before the class. We've certainly had enough of an exciting announcement today. There's lots probably still going through your mind. If you can set aside those worries, those thoughts, and take this time just for you, moving into some deep, slow breaths, getting the expansion and the release as you breathe, as thoughts arise. Let them float past you like clouds on a summer's day. You can acknowledge that there's a thought. And you can simply step back and observe it. As you take that step back and become the witness, notice how the thoughts tend to slow down. Watch how the mind becomes calm with that slow rhythm of your breath as the body sinks more deeply towards the earth. Allowing the healing properties of the earth to fill us. As you next exhale, start to slowly prepare your body for movement. The first action being to bend your knees, placing the soles of your feet on the earth. And then from there, let yourself roll to one side, reaching back for your blanket or your cushions. Move them out of the way and then return to your back. Feel the length of your spine, your shoulders, your shoulder blades resting on the earth. Notice how it feels different from before. And then as you exhale, bring your knees in towards your chest. Hug the knees in and maybe lift the nose up to touch the knees, making yourself into a small little nugget. And then exhale. Release the head back to the floor, open the arms to each side. Take a breath in here, and on your next exhalation, bring your legs across to one side, not quite touching the earth. Inhale, bring the knees back to center. Exhale, take the knees or legs down to the other side. And inhale up to center. Continue this movement from side to side, working with your breath. Exhaling on the downward movement of the legs and inhaling on the upward movement. Twice more to each side. When you next bring your knees towards your face, return your feet to the earth. We're going to do a couple of dynamic low bridges. Inhale to lift the hips up and take the arms overhead. Exhale, lower the arms down and return the butt to the floor. Inhale, push into the feet, lift the hips, raise the arms. Exhale, lower. 3 more times, moving deliberately through these 2 variations. Feeling into the shoulders, the hips, the front of the body, the legs, the feet, the buttocks. Last time, inhale to lift and exhale to lower. Bring your knees back in towards your chest, hug them in. You're going to come up to sitting. You can either choose to roll to your side, or if you prefer to rock and roll, forwards and backwards a few times to come upright. Stretch the legs out in front of you for a moment. Circle the ankles. And when you're ready to, bend the knees, take the soles of the feet together and open the knees out to the side. Make it a really long butterfly, so you've got a big diamond shape. Rather than having the feet tucked in close, make it as long as you can. Move the flesh of your buttocks out of the way. And if that's not comfortable for the lower back, then take a blanket and sit on it. Holding on outside the knees or the shins. As you exhale, round the back and pull the belly in towards the spine. As you inhale, lift the chest forward and open the upper chest. Exhale, round the back, breathing into the upper back. Inhale, lift and breathe into the upper chest. Couple more times moving through this cat and cow variation. Feeling the opening of the front of the vertebrae and then the back of the vertebrae. This class's focus is actually on moving stuck energy, which is why we've got a bit more of the Qigong style exercise in there. As you next inhale, bring yourself back upright. If you'd like to here, you can zipper your toes, threading the toes so that they're intertwined like our fingers can be, but it's not compulsory. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, let yourself begin to fold forward, not pushing or straining, but just taking yourself to the place that you feel that your body meets a little bit of resistance. And be still here. Take a few breaths. Relax through the shoulders. Let the weight of the arms sink down. Check in with it, whether you need some props. You can use blankets, pillows, bolsters, cushions underneath the elbows or hands. Doing whatever supports your body best here. Let the knees open out to the side. You can support them also with bolsters or books, blocks, whatever you have handy. You've been in the pose not much more than a minute. So check in again. Has your edge moved further away? Can you drop in towards the next set of sensations? And then once more become still. You can let your eyes fall closed. Allowing the gaze to turn inward and focus on how it feels for your body. What's going on for you? Can you breathe into the back door of your heart, the back rib cage? You find some expansiveness on the in-breath in the back of the body. And sink into the pose on the out-breath. As you next inhale, begin to prepare your body for movement. And as you exhale, you can let your toes unwind if you had them zippered, and slowly begin to lift yourself back up to center. Bring the outside or the hands onto the outside of the knees to help bring the knees up. Rest back onto your hands, taking your feet nice and wide apart, and begin to windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Rolling across the buttocks, feeling the release through the hips, the backs of the legs, the inside of the legs. And then when you next bring your knees towards the right hand side, lift yourself upright. I'm just swiveling a bit so I stay in line with the camera. Inhale, lift your chest, and as you exhale, twist to the right, bringing your left hand outside the right knee. Keeping the space along the front of your chest. And you can stay upright here. If you like being in an upright twist, then remain where you are. If you'd like to, you can also walk your hands away from the legs and come down onto your elbows. Once you've made your way onto your elbows, if you're going there, check in again. How do the legs feel? How does the outer right hip feel? How does it feel around your belly? Can you feel the twisting sensation in the belly? The compression that's been placed on your organs as you breathe. Imagine that sometimes organs hold stuck energy. So by compressing and twisting, wringing them out in this way, we're helping to get fresh blood flow, which will move any stuck energy. If you would like to go a little bit deeper, if you're down on your elbows, you can let the elbows come out to either side and rest your forehead down onto your hands, or turn your head to the side. You can also use a bolster along the front of your body if you'd like a bolster or a folded blanket or pillows or cushions. If you can't quite reach the floor comfortably and you'd like to recline over something, then that's an option as well. Let your belly remain soft. The breath steady. As you next inhale, prepare yourself for movement. If you're down on your belly, lift your head and chest, come back up onto your hands. If you're simply in the twist, then unwind yourself. Take your hands back behind you. And a few more times, windshield wiper the knees from side to side. If you can notice that feeling of stuck energy moving, a sense of rushing energy or warmth or tingling. And then when you next bring your knees to the left-hand side, I'm just going to turn around so I'm still facing the camera. Start to lift the chest up and rotate to the left. So we're now twisting to the left-hand side with the right hand outside the left knee. And you can remain in that upright twist, or if you'd like to come down, you can make your way onto your elbows. So the belly is a little more revolved. There's a bit more pressure in the belly when you come onto the elbows. If you have come partly down, check in. Are you able to drop lower, or is this where you need to stay on this side? There's always the option of taking the chest all the way to the floor, head turned to one side, or forehead resting on the hand. Slow, steady breaths. Keep the belly soft. The breath deep enough to influence the abdominal region. As you next inhale, begin to make your way out of the pose. If you're down on the floor, lifting your head and your chest, moving back upright. If you're in your twist, release it and make your way onto your belly. Letting your arms rest beside you, the legs relaxed. Surrendering to the floor as you breathe and soften. Scan through the body. Notice what you notice. As you next exhale, bring your hands to either side of your chest, pushing into your hands to lift yourself up to tabletop position. Plant the hands under the shoulders, the knees under the hips. Going to move through cat and cow. On an inhalation, letting the belly drop, the head and tail lift for cat pose. Exhale, pull the belly up towards the spine, drop the head and the tail. Inhale, belly comes down. Exhale, belly lifts. 2 more cycles here. Not forcing, but letting the body open to the appropriate level for you. And then bringing your spine to a neutral place. Step your knees a little closer together so the inner knees are touching. Reach the right leg back behind you. You can point the toes or you can have the toes facing down, but try not to lift the leg higher than your butt. As you exhale, lift the belly, bring the knee in towards the chest. And as you inhale, take that leg back, lift the head back to neutral. Exhale, lift the belly. Inhale, neutral spine, neutral head. And one last time, exhale the knee in. And inhale, stretch that leg out. Releasing the right knee to the floor, changing sides. Inhale the left leg back behind you. Exhale, bring the knee towards the nose, rounding the back, lifting the belly. Inhale, stretch the leg back, keep the belly up and the spine neutral. Exhale the knee in. Inhale, stretch the leg away. One last time, exhale the knee in. And inhale, stretch the leg away. Return the knee to the floor and walk your knees a little further apart, big toes together. And then sink your buttocks back towards your heels. You can pop up onto muffin hands here, onto your fingertips, or remain on the palms of the hands, but keep the arms active for a moment. Forearms lifting off the floor. On your next exhalation, walk the hands towards the right hand side of your mat. And once you've found that stretch down the left side of the body, then allow the head to rest and allow the forearms and arms to rest. We're not trying to take the stretch any deeper. Simply sink into it and breathe into that space on the left side. You might feel a little compression on the right side where the liver is. And if you don't have that sensation of the body sinking against the thigh, you can always place a pillow, a cushion, or a blanket in the gap between the body and the thigh so that you can feel that sense of pressure against the liver. Steady, slow breath, sinking down here. As you next inhale, lift your head. Your forearms off the floor, activate the arms, either palms to the earth or up onto muffin hands. Walking your hands back to center, readjust if you need to. And then exhale, walk the hands towards the left-hand side of your mat. Once you're here, once you've found your shape, let your arms relax. So you're no longer taking tension through the arms. They're soft along the earth. Let your head sink down. And settle into your breath, breathing into the right lung and the right side of the body. but also feeling the compression of the stomach and the spleen that live on the left side. If you want to feel a little bit more sensation, you can put something between the abdomen and the left inner thigh. So you've got a little bit more of that sensation of pressure, but only if you need it. If your buttocks don't come close enough to your heels, therefore there's space there. Let the weight of the head rest down if you haven't done so already. And sink into your breath, into your shape. As you next inhale, lift your head. Come up onto your fingertips, or bring your arms to be more active. Then walk the hands in front of you. And slide yourself forward, coming down to lie on your belly. Arms resting beside you and head turned to the side. Feel the space that we've created in the backs of the knees. Feel the space in the side body and through the arms and shoulders, just by being in that position. If you'd like to stay here for the rest of the rebound, remain where you are, or to come into a more active variation of the rebound, move through tabletop and into downward dog. Walking the dog here, taking one heel down at a time. Feel the weight pushing into the thumb side of the hand. If you're in down dog, take your heels nice and high and swivel the heels to one side. Again, opening through the side body, back to center, and then exhale, swivel the heels to the other side, and then back to center. Return the knees to the floor and take, or if you've stayed on the ground, then bring your hands beside you and lift yourself back to tabletop. Bring your left forearm down to the floor, parallel to the front edge of your mat. Let your forehead sink down, your buttocks sink back slightly, and stretch your right hand away from you along the floor. To increase the intensity in this pose, move the forearm further away from the knees. To reduce the intensity, bring the forearm closer to the knees. So you can set the level of intensity here. Opening the underarm towards the earth. Feel the space that we have in our belly. Breathe into the belly. Deep, slow breaths. As you next inhale, begin to lift your head and your chest, sliding your right hand back towards you. Unwind that left arm. We're going to head straight into the other side and have a rebound afterwards. So bring your right forearm to the earth now, parallel to that front edge of your mat. Stretch the left hand away from you and sink your forehead down. It can rest on your forearm. It could be slightly in front of it, more towards the knees. Make sure you've got the right position of your forearm that works for your body. Relax the belly. Bring your focus onto your breathing. Deep, slow, steady breath. As you next inhale, begin to lift your head, your chest, slide your left hand back, release the right arm and return to your belly or down dog if you prefer. Although it's quite nice after those strong shoulder openings to rest fully on the belly, on the earth. Our rebounds are such a vital part of the yin yoga practice, giving our tissues time to recoil, allowing our bodies to let go of the previous pose and prepare for the next one. As you next inhale, lift your head and your chest and stretch your left arm out beside you along the floor, palm facing down. and the wrist, elbow and shoulder all in one straight line. Bring your right hand beside you and turn your head to look at it, and then roll away from that right hand, resting the head down and trapping the left arm underneath you. Find a position for your legs. Both knees can be bent, perhaps one or both knees facing the ceiling. So depending on how much movement there is in your spine, how much ability there is to open in the front of the shoulder, will depend on where you put your legs. Choose a position that lets you balance, and then let yourself begin to release into the pose. Once you've found your shape, there's no need to move any more deeply. Be still, marinate. Make sure that the neck and the head are comfortable. If your head or your temple can't reach the floor, then place a blanket underneath it, support it in some way with something soft and pliable. As you next exhale, begin to unwind from this pose, returning to your belly. We're going to go straight into the other side, skipping the rebound halfway. Open your right arm out beside you, palm face down, elbow, wrist and shoulder in one line. Left hand to the floor beside the head. Look at that left hand and roll away from it. Letting yourself come onto the right side of the body, trapping the right arm below you, trying to resist the urge to move the arm up or down, but leave it exactly where it is. Let the head be supported on the earth, and find a position for your legs that works for you, that serves you in this practice, whether that's knees to the ceiling, one or both, knees or legs resting on the floor, legs bent or legs straight. Sink into the breath. Each time you notice yourself getting caught up in your thought stream, bring your attention back to your breath, back to your body. Repeating this as many times as you need to. With a sense of love, and letting go of any judgment. As you next exhale, begin to unwind yourself, stretching your legs out along the floor, moving back onto your belly, and letting the arms rest down beside you. Choose the position for your head that's the opposite way to what you just had it, so that you're giving your neck an equal chance to stretch on both sides. In the next inhalation, bring your hands to either side of your chest. Push into your hands and lift yourself back to tabletop position. Slide your left knee forward towards the outside of your left hand. Let the foot cross the center line, and then extend the right leg back behind you. Bring your fingertips to the floor. Inhale, find some length along the front of the chest, and then as you exhale, let yourself sink into that space, taking the elbows down to the floor and checking in with your body here. How does it feel for you to be in this space? What do you need to do to make it more comfortable? If it's not appropriate for your knees or your hips, you can come onto your back and eye of the needle instead. If you're happy here, you might find that you can take your elbows out to either side. Let your temple rest down onto your stacked hands. Sink into the pose and sink into the breath. As you next inhale, begin to lift your head and your chest. Back up onto your hands, lifting your hips enough that you can slide the left leg to meet the right. We're going to come straight into the other side. Moving the right knee forward to the outside of the right hand, inching the left leg back behind us. Be on the fingertips just for a moment and breathe space into the front of your chest. Not so much lifting up into a back bend, but just opening the front body. And then exhale down onto the forearms, elbows. Check in once you've come onto your elbows. How does this feel for you? If you've got more room to drop further forward, or are you happy staying here? If you'd like to, you can take your elbows out to either side. Rest the right temple down onto your hands. The more deeply you breathe, the more you'll be influencing your internal organs. Especially if the right heel is pushing against part of the abdominal area. As you next inhale, begin to lift the head and the chest coming up onto the hands. Take your weight onto your right hip so that you can swing your back leg forward and come down to lie on your back. Bring the knees into your chest, hug them in for a moment. And then extend the legs along the floor. Let the arms and legs be long and soft. Enjoy the openness in the backs of the knees. When you're ready for the next pose, bend your knees. Push into your feet and pick up your hips and move them slightly to the left-hand side of your mat so your body's no longer straight. Then cross the left leg over the right. On an exhalation, bring the knees towards your chest and then release the knees down to the floor on the right-hand side of your mat. Let your arms open out to either side. If your legs can't comfortably reach the floor, you can always prop them. Place a blanket, a bolster, some cushions under the legs. If your left arm isn't comfortably on the floor or the shoulder, the left front of the shoulder feels like it's working too hard here, you can change the position of the left arm, curling it around your head, resting the hand at your waist, or finding somewhere between those three different variations that works for you. Let the head be soft, the neck relaxed. Sink the breath into the belly. Encourage your breath to be as deep as you can, without forcing, without straining. Just invite a full breath in and relax into a full breath out. As you next exhale, let your legs uncross and carefully push into the feet to bring yourself back to center. Take your time here. Let the knees drop together. Feel into the two sides of your body and the difference in the way that the right side feels to the left. When you're ready to move into the second side, push into your feet, pick up your buttocks and move your hips a little to the right. Then cross the right leg over the left, a full cross as though you were sitting at a table. Bring the knees into the chest and exhale, take the legs down to the left-hand side. Open your arms out to either side. Or if that's not comfortable, find a different position. Maybe circle the arm around and let it rest, curl around your head. Or let the hand rest at your waist. Find the place that's right for you. Find a neutral position for your head. And sink in. Taking a last deep, slow breath here. As you exhale, uncross your legs and carefully bring yourself onto your back, hugging the knees in, maybe rocking it out, massaging across the kidneys and over the spine. And from here, we're going to move into Shavasana. Let your legs stretch out, let your arms rest down beside you. Find that place that you're able to completely let go, covering yourself with a blanket if you need to, if you feel cool. Taking your attention down to your toes, relaxing each of your toes, giving them a wriggle if you need to, releasing through the feet and the heels, relaxing the ankles, the shins, the calves, softening around the knees, relaxing the thighs. Let your hip points sink downward, the buttocks relaxed on the earth, soft belly, soft chest, whole of the spine releasing towards the floor. Relax the shoulders. Let the arms become heavy, the fingers curling towards the palms. Throat and neck relaxed. Head heavy on the earth. Nothing to do. Nowhere to go. Just breathe. Releasing your focus on your breathing. Begin to prepare your body for movement. Starting small, wriggling fingers and toes, building up to stretching out arms and legs. As you feel ready to, bend your knees, bring them into your chest, and then rolling to your side or making your way directly up to sitting. In honor of your practice, Namaste.